A bill to end the state grocery tax is heading to the governor's desk.
A closer look at what this could mean for shoppers in Arkansas.
And it's going to be warm and windy for today. Daytime highs 70s and 80s. Plenty of sunshine. We'll talk about it coming up.
We're in the design and development phase of building a new residence hall.
Fayetteville leaders are looking at new approaches to combat the housing crisis. How the U of A is adjusting to record enrollment.
But first, a live look outside in Fort Smith. Good morning to you there. 5 News This Morning is now.
Covering news where you live. This is 5 News This Morning.
Well, good morning. Thanks so much for joining us here on 5 News This Morning and on 5 Plus. If you're tuning in, we got the man of the hour here in the studio, as always, Stephen Elmore.
Wow.
Right?
What the introduction this morning.
He's got the good
feeling
hair.
himself.
He's got the nice ties.
This is how I look every day.
Right?
I don't know, I like the tie today.
I'm trying to
Thanks.
butter him up because I want this Easter weekend forecast to go my way.
Yeah, come on, Stephen. Easter egg hunts.
You guys know just as much. I have no control
You can't
over it.
change it?
It's just the messenger here. Yeah, your Easter weekend forecast, not great right now, but at least until then, looks pretty good out there. A few clouds across parts of the river valley right now. Most of the day today, though, we're going to be seeing a mix of sun and clouds. Right now, though, we'll just have to be wary of maybe a few spotty showers out there to start off your morning. Outside of that, most of us stay dry for today. Warming trend kicks off, though, by the time we get to this afternoon. 70s and close to 80 degrees for us. It's going to be windy for today, windy for tomorrow, and for our Friday as well. The good news is, even though it's strong winds, it's going to boost our afternoon highs. It's going to be very warm over the next several days. Going into your Easter weekend, though, rain chances, storm chances as well. First chance will be Friday night going into Saturday, and then again for your Easter Sunday, more than likely going to be pretty wet outside. Current temperatures out there right now starting off into the 30s and 40s across northwest Arkansas, into those 40s across the river valley. Not too bad this morning. Might need a light jacket in a few places waking up this morning. Northwest Arkansas. The rest of the day, though, again, we lose whatever cloud coverage we have out there this morning. Seeing those daytime highs into those mid-70s by the time we get to this afternoon. Across the river valley, even though it's cloudy right now there in Fort Smith, the rest of the day, more than likely seeing lots of sunshine and those daytime highs climbing up into those low 80s. Let's get a check of traffic so far this morning. No accidents, no slowdowns. Here's a live look there at the Bella Vista interchange. Good morning to you so far this morning. No accidents out there as of right now across parts of 49 and 40. Looks clear. Your morning commute should be pretty easy.
All right, thanks for that, Stephen. We have some breaking news for you this morning coming out of Fort Smith. Now, this is a live look at the scene unfolding right now. This is in Fort Smith right before you go over the Midland Avenue Bridge there on Midland Boulevard at the Shamrock Liquor warehouse, where they sent out an alert saying that it had caught fire. Now, this happened a few minutes after 5 o'clock this morning.
Yeah, you can see a lot of emergency responders out there right now. Thankfully, from what they've reported so far, no injuries that we know of at this time. They do say they are still trying to figure out the cause of that fire, but they do want to ask people, please steer clear of this when it comes to your morning commute, because they say that this is going to cause some backups. This is going to take a while to clean up. And so again, if this is a way that you go on that morning commute, go a different way if you can, find that alternate route. But we will keep you updated throughout the morning. Photojournalist Will Maxwell doing a great job, rushed out there this morning to Fort Smith, and so he's going to try to get some more information for us. You can see inside.
Yeah, it looks
right
like the
there.
roof. Like the roof, is a lot of damage up there. But of course, the building is still standing. So it looks like it could have been, inside sort of where this started. Quite a bit of damage. You have a lot of crews on scene. And I think that's the problem, is because they're parked there right in the street. That's where the fire trucks had to be. So that is blocked off as of right now.
Yeah, and we were talking about it. You think about how bad this could have gotten with all the alcohol inside. It could have fueled the fire. And so we are so thankful that there were no injuries, and it looks like they got it under control pretty quick.
All right, we're going to keep an eye on this. At the bottom of the show here, we will bring you an update on it, so stay with us. Let's go ahead and take a live look at the Arkansas Capitol, where Governor Sanders, though, just had to speak on the legislative session and all the bills later this morning, because it will wrap up. Today is the final day, but later the governor does plan to speak at the groundbreaking. This will be for a new Buc-ee's, which will be in Benton. It will be the first one in Central Arkansas. Arkansas. Now, this morning, a bill that will save Arkansans money at the grocery store is now awaiting the governor's signature.
The bill to eliminate the state grocery tax has passed both the House and the Senate. Right now, when you buy grocery items, you're taxed at about 12.5 cents for every $100 you spend. Statewide, supporters of the bill say that it will save shoppers about $10 million every year. But it is important to note that not all of the taxes on your groceries would go away.
When we go out with this messaging saying the state's eliminating your tax on groceries, people think that it will be zero, but the state's eliminating what we can control on your groceries. Your local cities and your local counties are still in Arkansas taxing your groceries, so there will still be a little bit.
Once the governor signs the measure, it will go into effect on January 1st. She announced support for the legislation when it was introduced earlier in the year.
Well, meanwhile, the governor announced she's asked the USDA to take certain junk foods off the list of approved SNAP benefits in Arkansas. It makes Arkansas the first state to formally request to remove items like sugary drinks and candy from the SNAP benefits program. More than 100,000 households across the state receive those benefits every month. If approved, it would take effect July next year. A 30-day public comment period is now underway. And lawmakers have sent the governor a bill that will completely overhaul the state library board. Senate Bill 640 passed 60-29 on Tuesday in the House. If it's signed into law, all 7 current board members would be fired, and Governor Sanders would appoint their replacements. Now, once appointed, the new members will serve staggered terms ranging from 1 to 7 years. Now, this vote comes just days after a more drastic proposal to abolish the library board failed to get through a committee. The state moving forward with the Franklin County Prison project and with hiring a design professional. At a Board of Corrections meeting this week, they chose HDR as well as Cromwell Architects Engineers, which is a Springdale-based firm for the project. Senator Bart Hester says they're moving forward with the $75 million already allocated for the project. Chairman Biddy Magnus advocated for changing the wording to a new prison building rather than a location.
We've already put an architect in charge of doing the Calico Rock, then it got pulled. And so that's why I'm wondering if we just should say architect for a new prison in case something was to ever happen. We don't have to come back through this process.
This comes as a Senate bill which would have allocated $750 million into the project failed to get the required 3/4 majority vote 5 separate times in the Senate. Hester says he does not plan to hold another vote for the remainder of the session.
He was not a selfish person at all. He loved his family down. He would do anything for them. Anytime you called, he was gonna come. Anything you needed, he was gonna make a way.
This morning, families are remembering their loved ones killed in a deadly shooting at a Conway park over the weekend. In total, 2 people died on Sunday, Tatiana Pinister and Demetrius Feemster. 9 others were injured, and family members of Feemster say that he was a class clown, the life of the party, and a former football standout at Little Rock Parkview. Families of both victims set up memorials for them at the park. On Tuesday, city leaders and law enforcement in Conway gave an update on the shooting. They say at least 6 weapons were used, over 100 rounds fired. As of now, no one has been arrested. Mayor Bart Castleberry says that the party that led to the shooting was put on by an out-of-town organizer who did not have a permit to hold such a party. He says city leaders did not find out about it until Sunday afternoon. Well, here at home, a proposed housing project on Dixon Street in Fayetteville is not moving forward.
Residents spoke against the 600-bedroom housing project at Monday's meeting, but as Kayla Davis reports, it was ultimately voted down because a new study shows the project would negatively impact traffic.
Fayetteville continues to be one of the fastest growing cities in the state, largely because of the local university's growing population. And as the housing crisis continues, local leaders and private contractors alike are working to fix the issue, including Trinitas Ventures, the developers behind the 185-unit Dixon Street housing project. Their building would have provided more than 600 beds catered to University of Arkansas students and young professionals. But after the proposal was voted down in the City Planning Commission on Monday, 5 News asked the university what happens now with the continuing need to accommodate a growing student population.
Across the 7,200 students that we house, which is about 6,200 on campus, that's how many beds we have on campus, is 6,200. and approximately 1,000 beds off campus that we contracted with. We've used partners this last year, including Marshall, the locale, Cardinal, that's where a lot of our first-year students live, and then also College Town.
The university has set record enrollment every year for the last 4 years, with the 2024 freshman class the second largest in university history at 6,614 students. As more students enter Fayetteville, some may wonder how there's enough space. Christopher Spencer with U of A Housing says they're actively working on a solution.
We're in the design and development phase of building a new residence hall, and that's going to be about 700 plus new beds that are going to be, for those of you who know campus a little bit, near Maple Hill